Hello, everyone. It's me, the Enlightened One, your favorite cartoon friend. And today on Wrestling with the Paranormal, let's find out what the show's about. For my good friend.
You have reached the Magician's Assistant. If this is the Enlightened One, today's episode is More Tales from the Graveyard Shift.
Holy crap! It's more Tales from the Graveyard Shift.
I think the Magician's Assistant's kind of got a raise. He must have got a new phone.
Looks like he's got upgrade. Maybe he's got the new iPhone 15 or whatever the heck they're up to now.
Do you know what? Even I don't know.
They're just always coming out with new. The iPhone 23. Jeez.
iPhone 23 GX Max, whatever.
Look! I got a new PlayStation 5. Check it out.
Ooh, okay. You been playing much?
I've tried out a few games, and it's a learning process. I haven't played in a while, so I'm just trying to get back into it.
Good evening, Mr. Graham, as always.
Yo, Joe.
Yo, Joe. I love that. I love that. How's the week been?
It's good. We're getting some nice weather, but let's introduce ourselves. I am, of course, the patron saint of all of professional wrestling. I'm that gingered up, paranormal son of a bitch. I'm Canada Dry, damn it.
Always bigging yourself up. I absolutely love it. And I am, of course, the Magician, and this is the only paranormal show made for wrestling fans by wrestling fans.
Now, did you catch Dynamite After Dark on Wednesday?
I did.
Now, it seemed like Justin was like Max Headroom or something, or Transformer. You couldn't quite understand anything he was saying, which is weird because he was on this show and he sounded fine.
Yeah, I don't know what went off there. I mean, maybe it's just the technology these days.
Well, you know, he's using an iPad Touch, or an iPhone, or sorry, what is it? iPod Touch.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they make those anymore.
No, they don't. No, they do not. Dear. As always, Noob is in the house. What's going on, Noob?
What up, Noob?
Oh, dear. So, yeah, we've got a jam-packed show. We've obviously got some amazing things in the vault. We've got another Bull or Truth with our good friend, Mr. Isaacs. And obviously, we've got something from the Magician's Corner. I will tell you about that later on. So, we've got loads of stuff to go through, right?
You gotta remember that we have knowledge is power at the end. So you gotta be thinking, what message of hope and truth we can salvage from our shenanigans here.
Of course. Should we get into part one?
Part one is the vault. Let's get this. It looks like it's time to open up the vault.
Do you know the combination? Boom. Do you remember the password?
Do I remember the password? I made up the password. Do you remember the password?
Of course I remember the password. I'm just making sure you do.
Of course I do.
Okay.
Someone's got to say it. Someone.
The password is Busco.
And of course, that's George Costanza's PIN number on Seinfeld.
Okay. Hey, see, even Mr. Graham knows the password.
Yes, Mr. Graham knows it's Bosco. You know, have you ever tried Bosco?
I have not. I don't even know what it is.
It's like that milky, this chocolate syrup you put in the milk and you stir it, and you got chocolate milk.
Okay. So this is the part of the show where we take a deep dive into the vault. There could be absolutely anything in there. Could be a creepy picture. Could be a creepy video. Could be both. I mean, let's find out, shall we?
All right, let's look it in. Hey, was this a clothespin? Oh, don't need that. All right, let's see. Here we go.
Boop.
Oh, all right. So this is a weird picture because depending on how you're looking at it, it's either a dog or it's a goat.
I'm saying goat straight away.
Yeah, you initially see the goat, but it's actually a dog.
What?
Yeah, don't you see the little nose? It's a dog looking up. The goat's mouth is his ears.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And it looks like the dog is scratching as well.
This is one of those images where if you got to look at it at the right angle before you realize what it is.
One of those tricky things.
That's a weird one. I mean, I can definitely see it now.
But it looks like the goat's tongue is out, right?
It does. That is. I have no words on that one.
Yeah, it's just one of those optical illusions.
It is. Yeah. I remember the one we did where it was like a rock floating, and it turns out when you turned it upside down, it was just a rocket of water.
Yeah. Now, this next video, we're gonna. This is something that was big on the internet like 11 years ago.
Okay.
So it's a bit of a retro thing, and so it's a girl's eHarmony video, and she's telling us why guys should date her.
Okay.
So we're gonna review it, and we're gonna tell us what we think of this video. So let's play it.
Hello, my name is Debbie. This is my first attempt at a eHarmony video. This is my first time at online dating. So I'm nervous, but I'm excited at the same time. So I'm just gonna start talking about what I like and hope I get some replies. So I am a recent MBA grad from Villanova. I love cats. Sorry, I'm getting emotional. I love cats. I love every kind of cat. Sorry, I really love cats. And I just want to hug all of them, but I can't because that's crazy. I can't hug every cat. But I just want to. I want to. I'm sorry. I get, anytime I hear cat, I love cats. Promised myself I wouldn't cry. So anyway, I am a cat lover, and I love to run. I'm sorry, I'm thinking about cats again. I think about how many don't have a home and how I should have them and how cute they are and their ears and the whiskers and the nose. I just love them and I want them and I want them in a basket and I want little bow ties. I want them to be on a rainbow and just in my bed, and I just want a house full of them, and I just want to still roll around.
Do you think she likes cats?
I think she likes cats. Now, this has been a video on YouTube for a while. This was like a good 11 years ago. Now, would you date this girl?
No.
No.
We haven't been thinking about it. No, I get the fact she likes cats, but I'm thinking like I'm gonna get pushed out for cats.
You would have a nice home with the cats and you and her.
Yeah, but when she said she wants a whole house full of cats, I mean, no. I'm sorry, but no.
Now, do you think this is fake?
Um, and in what sense do you think means fake? Fake
Well,
is just
that
like,
it's not real, and she just posted it to YouTube pretending that this is who she is.
yeah, I think this is fake. I'd be very surprised if this is real.
Yeah, because she's acting like you don't see any real tears.
No.
But it got a lot of hits for a girl that was never really big on YouTube. She posted this. This is her first ever video, and she went viral.
Interesting. I mean, the first I saw Josie Crane's comment, which was, "Why is she getting emotional over cats like this?"
Hey, hold on a second.
Where's he going? What the hell?
You see this little ball of fluff?
Fruit cat.
Okay, wake up. You see this stuff? He's like, what the hell is going on? You see why this girl would get emotional over this guy.
Yeah.
Like, I should put his picture on a dating profile and see if anyone wants to date me based on him alone.
You never know. You never know until you try.
Fruit Cat's dad. That'll be my profile.
I can't believe we literally had a 5-minute discussion on cats.
Well, we were going to have a whole video on that with cats and dogs, but we're not going to talk about that again.
Okay. Is there anything else in the vault, or does that wrap it all up?
That is it. So what I'm going to ask for you guys to do right now, put your seat in your upright position, buckle up those safety belts, because we're going all the way around the effing galaxy. And we're
I've just realised, how's the flying going?
it's going all right. It's going all right. This is your captain's. I got a hairball. Damn cats. Feel free to go around the cabin now. Joseph Graham's gonna go out and give you some peanuts.
Yeah. So right, yeah. Come on, let's be professional. Come on,
Be professional.
We saw what happened a few weeks ago.
Right. So, what do we have first for our first story?
Of course. So, AEW Collision is believed to be debuting in the United Center on June 17th in Chicago. The show will be called The Second Coming. Punk is believed to work with Jericho, but Punk would like to work with Samoa Joe. I've got to be honest. Does CM Punk versus Chris Jericho or does CM Punk versus Samoa Joe draw you in more?
I wouldn't mind having a one-off with Jericho.
Mm-hmm.
Just have a big match, do a one-off, and I'd like to see a longer thing with Samoa Joe.
So for the short-term Jericho, for the long-term Samoa Joe?
Exactly.
I think that's a fair comment. Yeah, I mean, the fact of the matter is we're getting Punk back, and whether we like it or not, Punk is a big draw. Would you agree with that?
Oh yeah, the Second Coming is quite out there, right?
Yeah, I'm excited because it's like I feel like we've seen so much of him in the news. I mean, he showed up on Raw, well, backstage on Raw, showed up at Impact, which was surprising. So I still don't get what he did with that, but I'm just excited.
I think he's just messing with us all. He's just trolling us. One big troll job.
Yeah.
Also, Miro and Thunder Rosa showed up at Dynamite, and they say this is to get them ready for the first episode of Collision.
Really? Okay. Obviously, I saw Miro coming back, and it was just literally walked into Tony Khan's office. I'm like, okay, what's going on here?
Well, you didn't see him leaving. Renee Paquette was waiting for him. And then Thunder Rosa went in too. Are they having a big party in there with the three of them?
Possibly. I mean, I'm excited for this Collision thing because I feel like we're going to see, obviously, because the roster's pretty stacked. We've said that a few times. So hopefully doing this, we see more, obviously, talent.
Oh, absolutely. The wrestlers that they have under contract They're not getting the time to wrestle. So we're going to get more of that. It's an upgrade for AEW to get this. And there's more upgrades that we're going to talk about later.
Of course. I'm excited for this. So June 17th, CM Punk, whether it's Jericho, remains to be seen. So watch this space on that one. Now, next story we've got is something we actually posted. It was a bit surprising. Kind of dry. Tell them all about this.
All right, so this got quite a bit of. We got 500,000 views on this post alone, which is our biggest post we've ever done. So the rumor is AEW and Warner Brothers Discovery have come to a new 5-year, $1 billion agreement that would be an entire AEW package, including the pay-per-views, weekly TV, and would be exclusive to Warner Brothers and subject to streaming on a Warner Brothers Discovery platform. And there's an announcement that Tony Khan said there'll be a big announcement this next Wednesday.
I mean, I kind of like this because I feel like streaming is becoming such a forte when it comes to wrestling. So I think this is huge.
Yeah. So if we're talking about pay-per-views on, say, HBO Max, this could be big. Well, you got Warner Discovery that's going to be bringing some shows over to Max 2 to increase it, Discovery Plus, and it's going to be a different platform. So you add AEW to that too. Wow.
Mm-hmm. Do you think the timing on this actually is perfect, or do you think this is a little bit too soon, or should have been done a while ago?
No, it's absolutely perfect. Like, this is big with the all-in, all the hype around AEW right now. Like, sometimes when I'm looking for WWE news, I'm not finding anything. Like, AEW is taking over the news. Like, everything you hear is AEW related.
Yeah, but what can we say? I mean, this is great. Like I said, the stream is becoming a big part of things. So, I mean, we get the plus side of obviously streaming it, and then obviously the financial side for AEW. So it's kind of win-win.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting how that affects you and me, because you're in UK, I'm in Canada. How is it going to work out for you guys? How's it going to work out for us? So that remains to be seen.
So we can actually watch Dynamite on free television anyway at the moment. So if that changes with this, I'm not too sure.
I don't think it'll change. I'm talking about the pay-per-views.
Oh, pay-per-views. We obviously have to get them on Fight Us.
Well, if it's on, like, you guys can't get HBO Max down there?
No.
Like, we don't get HBO Max. We get HBO.
Mm-hmm.
But HBO Max appears, some of their programming appears on the Crave network that we have. So we'll see if that comes over as well.
Yeah, I mean, we'll definitely see what changes it actually brings. So who knows? Next story we've got is some want Puerto Rico to be a regular event for Backlash every year, but no plans to return anytime soon. For me personally, I've got to be honest, I wasn't feeling the Backlash show. I've watched it obviously back, and it was okay. I'm not going to say it was a big show, but
no. But here's the thing: that crowd was amazing. That crowd was the best thing about that show.
Yeah.
Like, the merch that they sold, like for the LWO alone, must have been huge.
You guys are going to need to invest in a VPN. Shh, can't say that. That's something else.
We disagree with that. We will never invest in VPNs. Never.
No, never, ever. But yeah, I mean, the crowd was great. I'm not going to deny that, but I just feel like the card which was put on at the time wasn't the best.
No, but if you go back there, if think about that, what you just said,
Mm-hmm.
It was a shitty card, but the crowd was still crazy anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Which means you go there, you have a license to print money, regardless of who you even bring.
Yeah, I mean,
they're just happy that the WWE is in town. So but they said they're not going to go back, which is weird. Not for a while, anyways.
Yeah, it's one of those. I mean, at the moment, I'm not drawn into this Backlash type thing. But
what do you think about the other place they might go?
Which was where it was? Western Australia, is that right?
Yeah, Perth, the city of Perth.
I think that'd be a bigger venue to go.
Well, we were talking about how NWA is doing in Australia. Imagine you bring the biggest brand of them all, WWE, to Australia. It's going to do really well. Like they had a event back there. Was that the Greatest Royal Rumble?
Yeah,
that was in Australia, I think.
But here's the thing, though. Obviously, if WWE goes to Australia, does that push NWA out a little bit?
I don't think NWA is staying there. It's a one and done tour. I think they'll go back, but I think Australia is big enough to have a few good. To become like AEW could go there next.
Of course, and if you're in Australia, by the way, good morning.
How's it going to what's his name, the Australian Playboy?
I've got two more stories left as well. And it appears Bobby Roode will be out for an extended amount of time, as he's posted that he needs to go a second spinal fusion thing. This is kind of sad because I kind of miss Bobby Roode.
Yeah, this is one of those things where like a second spinal fusion. That's scary too. Like, I think he has to stop wrestling for the good of his family, for the good of his health.
Joseph Graham says, no, they just had a super show in Australia. Greatest Royal Rumble was in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, I get those mixed up. They were close together.
Yeah, it's when I think JFB said it on a previous show. He says when you're dealing with obviously your spinal, you've got to really take a long, hard think, really. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I pray that Bobby Roode hangs up the boots. It's sad because he was a great wrestler, and it's too bad he didn't get more of a name for himself.
No, I think the problem is with Bobby Roode. I think he left TNA a little bit too late. Personally, I mean, I would have liked to have seen him gone to WWE a little bit more sooner.
Yeah, it's unfortunate though, but we wish that Bobby Roode all the best.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Bobby, if you ever watch this show, rest up, my friend. So, I can't believe I'm ending on this, but do you remember Midian?
Midian of the Ministry of Darkness.
Yes. So apparently, he believes his house is haunted.
Yeah, that is interesting. Do you know more of this?
I've got a little article. Let me just see if I can find it because I thought this was brilliant. I have somewhere. Give me a second. Where is it? There we go. Yeah, so I will just quote what it says. As a member of the Ministry of Darkness, former European Championship, Midian knows a thing or two about the supernatural. And he says, my house is haunted. Midian said, everything I have is haunted. Midian explained that he recently bought a picture of an antique store that feels cursed. Nothing but bad vibe from it. This is weird. It's
Well, why would you buy it if you got bad vibes from it?
Exactly. This does not make sense.
Yeah, he was. I guess he was friends with. He went on a tour with what's that guy who does the ghost hunting?
Yeah, yes, I did. No comment.
Naked Minion.
Median. Oh, Minion, yeah. I think
I think he had a spelling error there. But yeah, he's been getting involved with the paranormal and some ghost hunting, and he's bought a lot of stuff. And I think you're kind of inviting that stuff into your house with that kind of stuff.
Yeah, the guy you're on about is Zach Bagans, who's obviously
Zach
Ghost.
Bagans. I couldn't.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm actually a big fan of obviously Zach. Obviously, I've watched a lot of his Ghost Adventure stuff, which I feel like that's probably one of the best out there because he always debunks everything, so it's great to watch. But yeah, I mean, when you're dealing with stuff like,
I think you get stuff attached to you doing that though.
Yes, you do. I mean, I do know he's got like his antique type thing with loads of different things.
I'm going to be honest with you. I would never go on one of those haunted tours.
Oh, I've done it.
I know you have, but I wouldn't. You know why?
Okay.
I don't want an attachment.
Yeah,
that's one thing. I don't want something following me home.
Yeah, there was a story.
And then people be doing haunted tours of my house because.
Well, the amount of times you've had some paranormal stuff at work, that's a different
Yeah,
thing.
exactly. Like, I don't need any more of that. Thank you very much.
And that's all we have for the Galaxy News this week.
Yeah, that was good. So we're going to do the Magician's Corner.
We can do the Magician's Corner, or do you want to do Bull or Truth?
Well, I'll
Take
say
your
the
pick.
Bullet Truth for to warm us up for the main part.
Okay, so let's get into, as we call it, the Magician's Corner. Now, we've had everything on this. We've had, obviously, somebody ordering stuff online. We've had the wrong video played, which an intern got sacked for. We've had a discussion thing. So this week, I said, you know what? I'm just going to have a bit of fun. I've got 3 pictures of wrestlers, and it's pretty simple kind of draw. You're just going to tell me who they are.
Okay.
Yeah? So this is the first one.
That is Tony Storm.
Okay, perfect. 1 for 1.
Who the hell is this?
I don't know.
Wait, that is my friend Natalia Markova.
Okay, that's perfect. And last but not least, who's this?
And this is the Session Moth Martinez.
Close. It's Martina. But who did you think it was yesterday?
Okay, so I didn't know who the hell it was. I've never heard of her. So she's an Irish wrestler, and I guess she's big in she was on AEW, I think, as well.
She's been on AEW, Ring of Honor, so she's been quite a few shows.
You know, I gotta be honest with you. I love the Irish accent on a lady. It's just hot. Did you ever watch that show Touched by an Angel?
No.
So one of the angels is Irish. She's this lady. She's like, I'm an angel. Sent by God. Good lives you.
So this week you obviously learned a bit by Session Moth. Have you actually seen any of your stuff? Are you a fan, or?
I'm learning new stuff every day doing this this podcast, doing the effing wrestling. So Noob knows who Moth is.
Exactly, even Noob knows it. So, but yeah, for anybody listening, go check out her stuff because it is the most entertaining stuff you'll ever see.
If I was Session Moth, I would come to the ring with wings. That's what I'd do. Big old moth wings. All dusty too. When you throw them down, the dust flies out.
And Canada's right. What is it? What is a Session Moth?
That is UK slang for the life of the party. I learned this just the start of the show. Just the start show. I didn't know what that was before. A Session Moth. Do we have any Session Moths in the crowd tonight? Raise your hand.
Yes,
thank you. I see that hand in the back. Yes, thank you. Remember to tip your waiters and waitresses.
There you go. And that wraps up the Magician's Corner. So we've got one more thing to do before we get into our main event, and it's probably one of Canada Dry's favorites.
I absolutely love Bull of Truth. Show that. There we go. We got that big old Brahma bowl, and we got that big old smile from our truth. It's Bull of Truth.
So this is the part of the show where we got a nice clip from our good friend Mr. Isaacs, and we have to work out whether it's bull or truth. So this week, let's have a listen, shall we?
Yes.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another exciting edition of Bull or Truth. I'm Mr. Isaacs. The Haunted Doll. When you think of haunted dolls, it's likely the creepy old Victorian-looking porcelain kind that springs to mind. None of which you probably have laying around. Still, don't get too comfortable around any kids' toys too soon, though. A Disney's Frozen Elsa doll that was gifted for Christmas 2013 in the Houston area made headlines earlier this year when it seemingly became haunted. Per the local news, the doll recited phrases from the movie Frozen and sang "Let It Go" when a button on its necklace was pressed. For 2 years, it did that in English, Mother Emily Madonia said. In 2015, it started doing it alternating between Spanish and English. There wasn't a button that changed these. It was just random. The family has owned the doll for more than 6 years and never changed its batteries. The mother says the doll would randomly begin to speak and sing, even with its switch turned off. The family decided to throw the creepy doll out in December of 2019. Weeks later, they found it inside a bench in their living room. The kids insisted they didn't put it there, and I believe them because they wouldn't have dug through the garbage outside, Madonia told the news. At that point, Elsa ceased to sing the English rendition of Let It Go altogether, speaking only Spanish when pressed. The family then double-bagged the bizarre doll and placed it at the bottom of their garbage, which was taken out on Garbage Day. They went on a trip shortly after, but when they returned, Elsa too had come back and was waiting in the backyard of their home. This time, the family mailed Elsa to a family friend in Minnesota who taped the haunted doll to the front bumper of his truck. It doesn't seem to have made its way back to Houston yet, as per Madonia's latest post. All right, gentlemen. Is this bull? Or is this truth?
That guy really knows how to tell stories, and it always makes you think.
Let it go. Let it go.
Do you know what? I'm going to say this is bull for some reason.
Is it because it's frozen?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, just because you are going bull, I'm going to go truth just to create some controversy. Let's see who wins.
Joseph Graham says true. So we've got 2 for truth, 1 for bull. So let's find out.
That's fine.
Are we ready for the answer? This story, my friends, is true. This was posted on Esquire.com per the article 5 Real-Life Horror Stories. For this week's Bull or Truth segment, this has been Mr. Isaacs, and remember, as our friend Canada Dry always says, no matter what you're going through in this wild and crazy place that we call Earth, just remember to please keep fighting. Have a good weekend, everybody.
And there's Mr. Isaac. We have a very powerful message at the end as well. Love it.
So how did this... I was right. So how did this doll that they bought from the store get haunted?
Who knows? I mean, it could be witchcraft. I mean, that's a key one.
Here's something. Someone going to the Toys R Us could be putting spells on them.
Sorry, I've just received some good news. Sorry, I will discuss that later on.
You have good news?
Yes, it's about something tomorrow. Just we'll go with it later on.
Okay. Are we able to talk about it at the end?
Yes, we'll do that. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, how's the doll managed to know? It's a weird one, isn't it?
Yeah. So I think we'll just move on to our next thing. We have a sponsor on the show,
which is Cause Dubby.
Yes, Dubby. Now you can use code Effin Wrestling and get 10% off. So with my PlayStation 5, I'm going to be doing a lot of gaming. And when you're gaming, you need energy to get past that next raid, that next accomplishment in the game, that next level. We're playing online with your friends. You don't want to be there and being the weak link of the team. You got to have that energy. You stick the Dubby in your drink, and there you go. Also have the chews, which are also available. I want to try those for sure. So go to www.dubby.gg and pick up yourself some day. Use code Effin Wrestling for 10% off. And of course, we are going to do something we call story time.
Let's do this. Can I just say I love that little quote thing for the magician's part? That's top notch.
Now, I want you to have a wand and make the money come.
It'd be a different story if I could do that, trust me.
Yeah. Of course. Let's show the graphic for our story time here.
Boop.
More tales from the graveyard shift. Get your coffee. It's going to be a nice story. We're going to have some good tales, some creepy tales. Like, what did you think of some of these stories? Like, whoa, see that? The mask is falling down already? It's like, oh,
Yeah.
wow.
They already know. I mean,
they're going haywire here.
they definitely are creepy, and they do. I've got to be honest. One of the stories we'll cover today actually made the hairs on my hand stand up as well. It was that creepy.
So I haven't heard your stories, and you haven't heard mine. So we get some good reactions here.
This is going to be the first time we've actually heard the stories, but kind of dry. You can kind of relate to this because you've obviously done the night graveyard shift.
Yeah, there was some creepy stuff. Like, I would see different little things out of the corner of my eye. You would see lights on, then you go around the corner and they're off.
Yeah, it's definitely a weird one. So we've got 2 stories each, and Canada Dry, I will let you start first.
All right, let me take a look at my notes here, see what we got. All right, so our first story comes from Orlando, Florida, and her name is Jenny. She's a blonde girl, very pretty. She's 23, and her aunt is the manager at the nursing home. So she went to the schooling and whatever, got her nursing certificate. But the problem here is that Jenny wants special treatment and doesn't want to work the graveyard shift.
Okay.
And because she's got pull with the aunt, she doesn't have to do it until she wants time off. Now, okay, sorry. Now, it was causing some tension with some of the coworkers because she's getting preferential treatment.
Yeah.
And there's a little bit of tension there. And the aunt realizes that she might have made a mistake.
Right.
So she doesn't know how she's going to fix it, but until Jenny decides that she needs time off for her cousin's wedding.
Yep.
So this gives the aunt an opportunity. She says, well, you want time off. I'm going to need you to do a week on the graveyard shift. So that way, when they're covering for her, when she's at the wedding, they're not going to say, oh, now she's getting another thing. So at least she's one of them doing the graveyard shift. So she does a week of the graveyard shift. And at first, it's all going fine. It's actually repairing some of the relationships. They're goofing off, joking around, and they're making new friends.
Yeah, as you do.
Yeah. And, they're seeing her as just everyone else now because she's doing what everyone else is doing. So it's going good until the last day of her nighttime on the graveyard shift. So it's 3 a.m. And sometimes one of the older folks that are there, they need assistance with different things. And they'll buzz, and one of the nurses will come and help them. So some of the other people were on their break, so Jenny had to deal with it. So the first person is a woman, an older woman, and she comes in and she starts up. The lady says, "There's a dark shadow man smiling at me, and I don't want him in the room anymore."
Wait, what?
Jenny's like, she's thinking that this woman, she's got maybe dementia or something, and she's like, oh, it's okay. And she tries to comfort her. It's like, she's like, don't worry, he won't come back. And she comforts her, helps her to go to the bathroom because they have a bathroom in each room, and puts her back to bed. And sure enough, she goes back to the nurse's station. And a little bit of time passes, and another buzzer goes off. And
Okay.
her friends are still on their breaks. And so she goes over and helps that person. And they are saying the same thing. There's a shadow figure in my room, and it's a man this time, and he's tormenting me. Please help me. Don't make it go away. So now Jenny's a little bit worried. She's like, two people, two different rooms. She's kind of getting nervous herself. And so she says, get out of it. She just like humors him and acts like she's got authority. She says, get out of his room and leave him alone. He's trying to sleep. And then she pats him on the head and gives him a little hug, and he goes back to bed. She goes back to the nurse's station, and a little bit of time passes, and she hears another ring. It's another person. It's another older lady.
Yep.
So she goes over to the room, and the blanket is covering up this lady, full covering, but she's snoring really loud. She's like, well, why is she buzzing if she's sleeping? But she's snoring really loud, but she's worried about the blanket covering her head. So she's about to take it off when the bathroom door opens, and the little old lady is coming out. And so she's like, what? And she turns, and there's no one in the bed.
Wait. Look at the hairs on my arm there.
Yeah.
That
There's no one in the bed. It was the dark figure in the bed, snoring.
Wow. I've gone really cold now. It's weird.
Yeah, that is a creepy story. And Jenny never had to do night shift ever again.
I wonder why. Oh, wow. That's story one, and I've already got shivers.
Well, nice one to start off with, right? I hit it with a bang.
It is. Whew. I don't think I'll be able to top that, but I'll give it a good go. So, time for my story?
Yes, let's hear it.
Now, the place Norm is obviously somewhat notorious for disappearances and stuff like that. Now, this is an area we covered, I think, in the first part we did. Now, in the Alaskan wilderness, a man named George obviously worked for the Normandy Police Department in the late 90s. Now, because this area, there was very restricted because of Joe's snow and stuff. Now, one particular night, George and three of his officers were basically snowed in the office. They couldn't get out because of the heavy snow. They were literally, they were trapped. I wouldn't say they were trapped, but they couldn't like go out because of how bad the snow was. Now, approximately 2 a.m. this night, one of his officers called him to the office. Now, according to the officer, on the CCTV, they saw what was described as a small figure walking towards the station. Now, that's all it says, small figure. Now,
could have been a child maybe out there in the snow.
Well, that's the thing. They thought it was a young child, but based on the movement, I think they basically debunked it that it wasn't a child, Joe, the way it was like moving. Now, obviously, it was barely visible because of the snow. I mean, literally, the snow was coming, absolutely everywhere. Now, the creepy thing was the officers expected, obviously, the figure to come to the main door, like the front door. Now, this wasn't the case. Now, it passed. Instead of entering through the entrance, it disappeared around the side of the police station.
Wait, so it's like sneaking around the building?
Yes.
Now,
immediately the officers are beginning to panic and stuff like that. So they're flicking through the cameras, they're flicking through absolutely everything. And they actually managed to spot this particular figure at the rear of the building. It was like peeping through the window. So it was literally like going, just a small figure just going like that.
So maybe they're thinking this is someone who needs help.
Yeah. Now, George, obviously, he was looking at the monitors and stuff like that. And obviously, one of his colleagues went down to investigate, initial reaction and stuff like that. Now, as the officer got there, the officer claimed that there was nobody at that door. However, George was adamant on the CCTV that he could see this small figure going like that.
So you wait a second. So you're telling me the guy down below is seeing nothing,
Mm-hmm.
and the guy up at the camera, looking at the cameras, is seeing the figure.
That's correct.
Wow.
Right. So George is thinking. I think George is starting to question himself. Now, the only way to obviously do this was to go and investigate himself. So one of the other officers looked at the CCTV, and George himself went down to investigate. So you had two people looking at this doer. And again, George, exactly the same, could not see anything through that actual thing. But on the CCTV, there was something there. So we've had this. I remember the story we did where the underground, where the guy went down.
Very
That
similar.
was very similar. Now, again, obviously they couldn't see anything. Now, the creepy thing was they were called back to the second floor. This is where obviously they were working. Now, the creepy thing was apparently now there was an identical figure at the main entrance. So we now have not got one, we've got two.
They're being surrounded.
Yep.
They're
And
like,
then-
let us in. It's cold out here.
Now, obviously, the officers began to just like do their business as normal. They couldn't do anything, but throughout the night, several figures exactly identical materialized on CCTV and what was described as surveying the station. So you had not just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and different parts of the actual station. So you not got. This is weird.
Yeah, so what are they? Like, are they ghosts? Are they demons? Are they goblins?
I don't know. Now, obviously, as the night prevailed, the snow actually eventually passed. Now, as the officers went out to the actual area, there was no trace, there was no footprints, there was basically no sign of these figures. So the question is, which you've just mentioned there, what was that?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, there's a lot of stuff in this world we just can't figure out.
That is, and again, look at the hairs. This is probably one where it's literally my hairs like, ugh.
Yeah, that's creepy. What were they?
Who knows? I mean, and that's the thing. There's no explanation. Nobody can actually identify what these were.
Who knows? Like, I'm thinking they're probably. I always lean that anything sinister like that is demonic.
Yeah. Yes, we do. Yeah. So kind of dry. Back to you.
All right, now we got to come up with a third story to top that one. We got two really good ones. Let's see if we can get another third blockbuster here. All right. So Simone Galliano, she worked at the Mexico Americano Hospital. Sounds like a drink at Starbucks. In Guadalajara, Mexico. Now, Simone thought that she'd seen it all in the hospital game. She'd be caring for patients, seeing people die. She'd seen people like families crying for their loved ones and rally around, all that kind of stuff. But this to her stuck with her and haunted her for her remaining days at the hospital.
Wow. How long was she at the hospital for, does it say?
This is in 2003. So she's still working at the hospital today, and it still bugs her.
Wow. Okay.
So this is in 2003, going into 2004. So it's the last couple weeks of 2003 in December. And there's a new patient that had checked in named Emilio, and he was a teenager. And he had been in an accident and suffered vertebrae damage.
Ooh.
And he was paralyzed from the neck down. And Simone had grown quite fond of talking to Emilio and just trying to be a mother figure to him. And the amazing thing is Emilio, even though he was paralyzed now, he was always cheerful, and he was always optimistic, and he would laugh and joke with Simone. And she didn't quite understand it. Like, why is he able to joke and laugh in this dire circumstance?
So with like high spirits.
Yeah, like too high almost. So one day she said, "Listen, how are you able to be so cheerful and optimistic?" So he told her, he said, "Listen, I've been contacted by aliens since I was a child. And they have been in contact with me recently. And they told me that even though you are hurt and your body is failing, we will come and get you and take your soul and your mind and your consciousness away to be with us."
What?
And he even gives her a date. He says, "They're going to come and get me on December 3rd. And this is like a couple days away.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're pretty much been, he says they've been contacting him through mental telepathy. They've been contacting. And so she starts to wonder, is this a side effect of the medication? Is he delusional? Is he suffering from mental health issues as well? But as she's like looking at him, he turns and smiles at her and says, remember the 3rd of December."
Oh,
And she's like, she just kind of like, she thinks he's suffering something, but it kind of haunts her, that phrase.
Was it like the Tony said it, or is it just like how he said it?
He just sang it in a chipper voice. Remember the 3rd of December. And it just kind of haunted her. And so 2 days later, it's the evening of December 2nd, and she's starting her shift, and he comes and checks in on Emilio, and Emilio's in his bed. He's had his dinner. He's watching some TV, and he takes his medication, and he slowly drifts off to sleep. And so she has other patients to look after. And again, at 3 a.m., all of a sudden the alarms go off, and it turns out that it's Emilio's room. And they all run to Emilio's room, and they find that Emilio is not in the bed.
So there's no trace of him at all.
Yeah, the blankets are off, and the little stuff that are connected to his arm and his vitals, they're all disconnected. And they begin to look at the CCTV cams, the security cams, and there's nothing. They're about to call the police, thinking someone has kidnapped him. But one of the other nurses comes running in. He's in his room. So they go in the room, and he's back in the bed. The covers are on. Everything is hooked up again. But to Simone's horror, he is dead.
Oh, okay. I was not expecting that ending.
And all she can think is, remember the 3rd of December.
Oh, wow. That got dark really quick.
Yes. Now, this does not set. This just sounds like they've been messing with him since he was a child.
Yeah, definitely, definitely some.
Like maybe lead him down the wrong path. Almost like he sold his soul, and
To the
they've been
devil.
torturing him. Like even like the fact that he's paralyzed is probably their fault.
Wow. Sorry, I just did not expect that ending.
Remember the 3rd of December.
Problem is now I'm going to go to bed after this show. I'm just going to be there sleeping. Remember.
You're like, remember the 3rd of December.
Wow. Do you know what? It's not often I'm speechless, but I have nothing to say on that.
I'll have to put that in the description. Remember the 3rd of December.
Maybe that's what we should name this episode, actually.
Well, I think we're fine. We'll mess around with it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I can top that, but I will try my absolute best. So I've got one more story to share. And this comes from summer of 2013. Now, a guy named Carl Whitehouse, who was obviously a security guard, found himself working for a company in the southwest England. So this is not far from me, actually, to be honest. Now, he obviously went to his boss and he was applying for literally security absolutely everywhere. And he came across what was known as a prison building. It was the area is not actually named, so we don't know where this actually is. Now, this was apparently was going to be converted to a private venture, whatever that means. No idea. Now, apparently, 2 security guards have already been assigned, but obviously they needed one more to fill the slot. Now, each security guard obviously had an 8-hour shift, and the good thing about this one was it was close to Carl's home, so fuel expenses were quite easy. It was close to home, so it's easy for him.
You know, I always like jobs where you can walk to work. Have you had a few of those?
No.
Oh, you have been so lucky.
Can you walk to your job?
No, but I had a few jobs in the past where I could just walk to work. And it's close.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Now, as Carl was obviously doing this job, he started to feel like this is a good job. It's close to home. I'm happy. Do you know things are happening? Now, Carl was one of these where he liked to explore the building, explore the outer. Do you know, explore pretty much areas in the building you think. Now, one particular night he went through a certain spot in the actual building, and it was described as low rumbling sound, which began to grow like intensity. So the closer he got, the louder it got. Now, the weird thing was the walls started to crumble. It was though the building was like falling to bits. I think that was how it was described. Now, the creepy thing was he could see the moon, but the moon wasn't white; it was purple.
What?
Yes. Now, the creepy thing was, as Carl obviously began to move out towards the door, the car park now wasn't a car park. It was now described as a deserted wasteland with old buildings in the distance. So he's gone out the actual end of the building, and now the car park's not a car park. Apparently, it's just a wasteland.
So he like went out to this different sort of Twilight Zone area, and everything changed.
I'll give you my theory on this in a second, but hidden in the background was known as tall and slender figures, unmoved, just literally just staring at him.
Wow.
That
Maybe they're from your other story. They made it over to.
Now, the creepy thing was, as Carl was just stood there, one of the figures began to move, which basically Carl was one of these ways like turned around and just bolted back into the building.
That's what I do.
Yeah. Now, the weird thing was, after all this began, and obviously he got his breath back, he went back to the specific area, do you know, where he'd seen the building as we said, come apart. Apparently now there was no damaged walls. It was like the area was just back to normal, and the sky went back to white. That's how it was obviously described here. So he's retraced his steps. He's gone back to where obviously the walls were like breaking, and it's completely different. And I'll end it on that.
I almost wonder if he went through a parallel dimension.
That's exactly what I thought.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, the first thing I thought when I read this was a parallel universe, because obviously there's a way where areas look a lot different during the parallel universe.
I also wonder if these creatures can mess with your mind and make you see things.
Do you think this is some sort of creature, or do you just think this is just a universe in general?
Well, those creatures made me think that they're controlling something, possibly. Like that's another theory, is that they are demons or shadow figures or something, aliens, I don't know, but they could be messing with his mind a bit.
And that's the key thing there, messing with the mind. I've always gone on the fact that the mind is a powerful thing.
Oh, absolutely. But yeah, these have been some pretty freaky, pretty scary tales from the graveyard shift.
And I've got to be honest, your second story is still creeping me out now.
remember the third of this.
Oh wow! But do you know what? I kind of love these stories because you just never know what you're gonna get.
Yeah, and graveyard shifts. You should get paranormal pay.
Double.
Just like this is the paranormal part of your check. What's this P there for the money there? That's paranormal pay.
Like an extra, like just whatever on top. Yeah, do it.
Yeah, you get an extra $5 for paranormal pay.
There you go. And
I'd be concerned if that was in my check. Like, I haven't seen anything yet, but if there's that in my, I'd be concerned. They're willing to pay me money because this place is.
Is any of them stories which still stick with you now? Since now we've covered them.
Oh, I think they're all pretty creepy. Like absolutely all of them, because you got the both of your stories have these creatures in them, and they've all kind of got that element similar, where there's something messing with people. So I think they're all pretty badass.
Yeah. Should we get into your favorite part now to end the show?
My favorite part is your favorite part.
No, because I always struggle with this, but shall we do it?
Okay, let's go ahead. Let's get it going.
Knowledge is power. I'm going to let you go first because I know exactly what you're going to say.
I have no clue.
Have you not? I've got one.
Okay, if you got one, I'll think of something on the go.
Remember the 3rd of December.
That's your knowledge is power. You're trying to help people. You're not trying to scare them.
Oh, are we not? Oh shit! I thought it was a paranormal show. I thought that was the idea.
We're trying to give a lesson here. What's the moral of the story?
I'll have to go back to this one because I've.
All right, children. So you get a job working graveyards. You know, you spent some time at this job for a couple weeks now. You've heavily invested in some of those little shades you put on your eyes when you sleep in the day. You got some earplugs. You've been drinking coffee, energy drinks at nighttime. W.GG. Now, when you come across something so scary that someone dies, there's dark figures on the outside of the place, you're going into parallel dimensions, quit the job.
Yeah, and that is Canada Dry's knowledge is power. So mine's going to be slightly similar. Kids, come on now, let's learn, right? So you leave college, you know what I mean? You think, right, I want to get a job, right? And somebody says to you, Do you want to do the graveyard shift? Do you want to do some security guard at some building and stuff? Unless they offer you triple pay and paranormal pay, do not, and I repeat, do not take the job because you
And it
never
helps
ever.
if you have an aunt who is the boss.
There you go. Because you never know. People might be watching. People might play with your mind. Aliens, demons. You never know. Could be absolutely anything. And that is my knowledge is power. I've really enjoyed today's show. It's fun. I enjoyed this one.
We got a cat lady who wants to date people. We got a goat that looks like a dog. Everything on this show.
And we have 3 wrestlers in Canada. I didn't know who one was.
I knew all 3, especially the middle one.
Of course you did. Of course you did.
Now, if you would like to support us and buy yourself a shirt, you could head on over to Pro Wrestling Tees /F and Wrestling. Can you tell me who this is?
That is, yeah, it's Natalia Markova.
Natalia Markova. She's wearing the All F Wrestling Show shirt. And if you want to support us, you can buy that and buy whatever shirt. You can buy us the Kool-Aid shirt, or you can buy Adrian Adonis's shirt. You got that? And he's going to be on a future episode of Dark Side of the Ring. I think we're going to have a watch party when this comes on. We're going to have a good time watching this. Go on over to ProSatees /Adrian Adonis. And you can buy his shirt. I definitely got to get one. And if you want to head on over and look at all our social network stuff, you can see it right below in the description, or head on over to fnwrestling.com. Right at the bottom, scroll all the way down, you'll see everything there. And if you want to join our prediction league, you'll see it in the link. You go to AFW on Facebook and tell them Canada Dry sent you.
Of course. So what we got coming up this weekend? What we got going Sunday?
All right. I don't know yet. Oh no, we have the round table, and we have the guy who does all the songs for all our shows. Bryce, he's one of the members of Ladder Match, and we're going to do the round table. And we're also going to have Ramiro on there as well.
Awesome. And of course, tomorrow I've got as Canada Dry called it, the British Dapper Yapper himself, Stevie Aaron from 1PW, is going to be joining me. Originally, it was supposed to be Mr. Isaacs, but of course, he's got family business. So it's going to be me and Mr. Stevie Aaron. We're going to be talking absolutely loads of stuff. 1PW, the British wrestling scene from the 90s, which I cannot wait for. And stay tuned, because in the last hour, a guest is confirmed for June. Stay tuned.
Oh, wow.
That's what we're looking for.
So we're going to find that out tomorrow.
We will.
Your big guest is for Magic of Wrestling next month.
Yep, absolutely. And yeah, I mean, exciting times. I'm really looking forward to that. Is there anything else? Have I missed anything?
Put my ring on. Remember to just keep fighting.
Was that you in that prison building? Were you messing with that guy's mind?
No way. I do not like the graveyard shift at all. I hate it.
Have you not? Have you not actually done the graveyard shift yourself?
I have, and I hate it. Do you know how hard it is to get asleep when the garbage trucks? You got, people yelling. Ah, it's crazy. Have you ever worked the graveyard shift?